and see if it's okay, you know. I think it's okay.
Okay, then go live and we'll see. And then if you don't go live, yeah, just go live, but don't post it in the where.
No, 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 no. And see if it's okay, you know. I
Okay,
think it's okay.
when it go live, it sounds. Go live and we'll see. And then if you don't go live, yeah, just go live, but don't post it in the where.
No, 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 no.
I think
Yeah,
it's
we
great.
actually is zero chart. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, say something. You just say something now. That's all.
And see if it's okay, you know. I
Okay,
think it's okay.
when it go live,
Okay,
it
guys.
sounds. Go live and
Alex and I
we'll
on
see.
stream
And then
today.
if you don't
A
go
bit
live,
late.
yeah,
Sorry for
just go
that.
live, but don't post it in the
You
where.
have something? No, 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 no.
What are you talking about now? I think
Yeah, actually, it was just a zero chart. It's okay. It's okay. Do you hear
okay, say
me?
something.
Yes or
You just
no?
say something now. That's all.
And see if it's okay, you know. I
Okay,
think it's okay.
when it go
Okay,
live, I think
guys.
it should be fine now. But how do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
shorten?
JB tested, and it's okay.
Okay, now the next question: how do you shorten the the oh my gosh the not the lag how do you shorten the time that you're behind? How do you say? Jesus, I don't know how it's called.
I don't know, but it started 1 minute, so we can send the link right now. No.
Yes, but I'm just saying, how do you shorten the time between we talk about and it sends to stream? How do you shorten that time in between, right? So that you're more live, that you're not.
I don't know. I don't know because on OBS you can only add delay. You know, not remove it.
Ah, okay, cool.
So I guess
Delay, yeah, I was looking for delay.
we
Okay,
don't we just have to cut
okay,
the
send.
sound of YouTube. It
Okay,
should be okay.
send the link then now. I'm gonna go to bathroom and then we're gonna wait for some people to join in and then we're gonna start talking. Okay, be right back.
So we can share the link. Alex, ready? I can share the link. Don't know, maybe. I'm
Everything
waiting for Alex to send the link.
okay? What what link? You can send the link or what are you talking about?
Uh, I can hear you, but very slow, very slowly. You know,
Very
I
slowly.
can't hear you well right now.
Wait, even on stream?
What the fuck again?
You should be hearing me well on stream.
I can't hear you, Alex. It's crazy.
Wait, you can hear me now?
No,
No? Yes? What?
absolutely not. Yeah, you know, but slightly, but nothing understandable. You know. What the fuck?
But you heard me before or what?
Yeah, before I could hear you very well, you know, but no, it's nothing. If you ask me something, I can't even hear. I can't even hear it.
Okay, wait. Maybe
And
you.
it's the same for JB. You know, he's on the stream, and
Huh? What could possibly go wrong? But you heard me before or what? Oh wait, no, you can
Yeah,
see that
before I
it's
could hear
really
you
low, yeah.
very well, you know, but no, it's nothing. If you ask me something, I can't even hear. Still low, still low,
What
still
the
very
fuck?
low.
What the fuck just happened, Vegas?
It was good, and it's not anymore.
Huh? I can't understand it right now. Wait,
I no, it's better.
it's better now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what you did, but it's better. Speak
What just
again.
happened, Hello?
It
Yeah, hello?
was good, and yeah, it should be fine now. Should be fine.
Huh? I can't understand it right now.
Okay, I
Wait,
send the link now. I no, it's better.
it's better now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what you
Just
did,
gonna
but
add
it's better.
another decibel to the.
Speak
What
again.
just happened, Hello? I'm gonna add
Yeah,
another
it was good,
decibel
and yeah,
and.
it should be fine now. Should
Okay,
be fine.
then it should be fine. Really hope it is gonna be fine. Jesus, man.
Yeah, no, it's perfect, Alex.
Okay, good, good, good.
Should I send the link?
Yes, send the link. Let's go. Let's get this show on the road, right?
Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Okay, good job. Let's go.
No, we're live, Alex.
You're live now? Okay. We have some background noises from someone in the office, okay?
Yeah, someone is speaking behind me, but I can't do anything for that, fortunately.
Your microphone is too loud, Arnaud. Wait,
Mm.
let me see this shit now. Wait, let me see if I can fix it here. Your desktop audio. Properties. Give me a second. I guess I can tune you down a little bit.
It's better now?
No, that's even worse. So go back to your go back to your own.
Okay.
Wait, I'll just tune you down here in OBS, okay? Just give me a sec.
Hello, Dimi.
Wait, let me just turn it down, okay? Give me a sec. How do you do this? Because I am a little bit still wooden in this sort of sense. Give me a second. Is it okay now?
Is that better?
Should be okay now.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see on the stream. I mean, I can hear fine. I don't think you're too loud. Wait, I'll just listen to the stream. Is it okay now?
Okay, 10 people now.
Should be okay now.
Should we start?
I think. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see on the stream. I mean, I can hear fine. I don't think you're too loud. Give me a second. Let me hear it on the stream if it's fine now. Is it better? Okay, good. So I guess everybody can hear you fine now, okay?
I think so.
Just gonna do it, just add just a little bit of juice, you know, just a little bit. Okay, good. And I am over the board, okay. So I guess you posted the link, right? Did it pass
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 minutes before? Okay.
Sorry for the delay.
So yes, guys, sorry for a big delay. Technical difficulties as every possible week happening. I don't know what is wrong with the last week. Everything went fine. I mean, we still went late because we had to adjust the sounds, but this time it just wouldn't capture the screen. Hando, well,
And
there's no
is not
Hando.
there, Sonia.
Jesus, so I guess it's still not. Yes, guys, sorry for a big delay. Technical difficulties as every possible week happening. I don't know. So I guess now my microphone is too weak. Like I swear to God, man, this is driving me nuts. Should be right fine. Jesus, I don't. Wait, I'll just add myself up. Give me a second. Whew. Okay, I added to like 10 decibels right now. Okay, so right now if it's too weak, I don't know what else to do. I swear, man. But man, this is me a second, let me hear the stream now. Wait, I'll just add myself up. Give me a sec. Whew. Okay, I added to like. Okay, now I'm definitely not too weak. Like I swear, I can hear it now myself, quite well on the stream. I think they can hear you quite well on the stream, so I think. So yeah, this is part of the why we are so late today, because we were trying to solve the issues of the sound, and not only the sound, it just wouldn't capture the screen of Arnaud.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
had to move the entire different computer, right? And then this started to happen. Yeah. So before we get this show on the road, right? Wait, you can't hear Alex at all. Wait, who? But I can hear myself. The sound, and not only the sound, it just wouldn't
Yeah,
capture
yeah.
the screen of
You
Arnaud.
can hear me. I
So we
think it's
had to
okay
move
now
the
for the sound.
entire different computer, right? And then this started to happen. Uh, yeah. So before we get this show on the road, right? Wait, you can't hear Alex at all. Wait, who? But I can hear myself. The sound, and not only the sound, it just wouldn't
Yeah,
capture
yeah.
the screen of
You
Arnaud.
can.
Okay, so you're a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna boost you again. I swear, Arnold. I swear this is gonna be the death of me. Okay, say something now.
Yes. Test. Sound is okay.
Hear Alex at all. Wait, who? But I can hear myself. Sound, and not only the sound, it just wouldn't
Yeah,
capture
yeah.
the screen of
You can.
Arnaud. Okay, so you're a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna boost you again. I swear, Arnold.
Yeah, so
I
everything is
swear
okay.
this is gonna be the death of me. Okay, say something now.
Yes. Test. Sound is okay.
Hear Alex at all. Okay, okay, yeah, I have the echo because I'm listening to the stream, obviously, yeah. Okay, so I guess if it's fine, it's fine. I guess I'm gonna. There, I can hear Alex. Okay, you can hear Arnaud. It's me, Alex. Okay, so yeah, before we get started, as usual, if you wanna ask any questions, if you wanna like suggest any altcoins that you want to, do like analysis on it or anything really. Yes, but there is a delay from your own stream. Well, it is delay, and you can shorten it on OBS. It's same as like on Twitch. There's always a delay, right? So I can't really say it. But I will read your questions just a little bit later, even if you post it, right? So as I was saying, if you got any questions, you can post them in the chat, or you want me
I
to
will
check any
read the
points.
question. Don't worry.
Yeah, you will read the questions. Yeah, thank you. And if you got any altcoin analysis, and I'm pretty much almost 100% sure which altcoin you will want to see, but okay, right?
Say Matic, right?
It's Matic, yeah. That's what. That one is almost for sure, right? Uh, so we did previous week. We did it again on Tuesday, right? So that was 3rd of November. So let's see, 3rd of November. Sorry, 3rd of December. What am I talking about? Okay, so it was about around here that we last did a stream. So pretty much on Bitcoin, nothing is changing, right? So what is happening on Bitcoin right now? So yeah, we did a couple of daily analyses on it, right? But I mean, to the retrospect, the bigger picture that we are currently looking at, nothing is really happening with the Bitcoin, sadly. We created this range, which can be seen quite well on 4 hours. It can be seen even better in 1 hour, actually. We have created this range right here, right? And we basically tested this one again, but didn't fail to gain anything. We tested it again right here and tested it again right here. So, I mean, right now at this point of view, and if I zoom it out a little bit, give me a second. If I zoom it out a little bit on a higher time frame, perhaps. Yes, we are testing the same kind of resistances, yet the volume seems to be kind of taking a little dive here, right? So not quite a bullish sign that might one expect at this level does already, since we already went down so much. But there is one thing. We have pretty much exhausted this entire range already, right? So I myself, if talking like a trader right now, I'm not talking about any algorithms here or anything, I would myself stay away from this for now, right? So where my next trade would be, it would be down here at this area, where I will for now only make a small scalp. If it hits right here, I'm not gonna buy heaps lot of Bitcoin, right? I'm just gonna do it like a scalp. And if we then proceed, if we do proceed to do something like this, right? And now this is important. This is the first important level. We have to close above this. If we start to do something like this, and it's like, sorry, if we start to do something like this and it's like immediately fall off, I'm not gonna add to my position, right? But if we do something like this, if we break out, I'm going to start looking to add something on this position right here. Or there's another thing what we can do. We can start doing like this. We can hang on here a little bit and then go test down again. Then I might add to my position and kind of turn Skull into a main trade, right? Now we do have a lot of trades open at the moment, so we are in no certain type of rush to right now long or short Bitcoin, right? We can just let it go, let it do his own thing before it kind of gets in some area that would kind of help us, right? So in case of best scenario, the best possible scenario right now is either, you know, we go here and this happens, which is at this point I'm gonna say more unlikely than something of this happening, right? So it's more likely for this second one to happen than this one, but it can still happen, but it's just very unlikely, right? That's sort of a case, my best case scenario. So I'm not gonna expect to go over here, you know. So this, I mean, definitely not going to expect to go over here. Let me just put a line. I can go test the highs, you know, but I'm not gonna go break this whole thing up and turn the chart into bullish. That's a huge, like, huge thing to do actually, and I'm really gonna lean towards it. That it's gonna happen so rarely and so not oftenly that I'm not even going to take it as a plausible option at the moment, right? If that happens, I will. Wait, I got spams on Telegram. If that happens, I will start selling my Bitcoin right here. You know, I'm gonna start slowly scaling out of my positions. No, you can either start selling your Bitcoin slowly here, or you can start smashing a short, right? So what you do when you have such a huge gap, right? So such a huge gap of opportunity, and in this case, this gap is 10 percentage wide, right? So what you can either do, you can either start scaling in, right? So you say, let's say you take 20% here, right? You do 20 here, then you do, maybe I start a little bit too much, 15 would be a little more. Then you do 15 here, then you do another, like 25 here, and just scale your short up so that you get an optimal entry if it goes all the way up. And normally the cases, the price won't go all the way up. That's usually the case, you know. You won't get the whole way up the price, right? You will probably reach something to like a 25%, and you will have this too, and then it will just break down. But still, it's better to have something that have absolutely nothing, right? So to some people, what they do to some people, right? If I remove everything now, some people would just set up a sell right here. They would do it 100%, right? 100%, and it will then do something like this, right? It will miss thing completely and go down, and then they will be without everything, right? So I personally prefer to scale my cells in like this, and if it goes all the way up, sure, the guy who set it here 100% would get a lot better price than me, but not a lot. I mean, it would get considerably better price than me, but you know, all the other 7 out of 10 times I'm going to be the winner constantly, while he's going to be you know, headbutting his head under the wall because he won't be hit on his short, right? So that's the best case scenario. Now if we go to the worst case scenario, what I'm starting to do right here is already I am starting to do some new longs, right? And most of my longs would be in these areas. Again, this is such a huge gap. I am just going to smash my longs in again 4 different price patterns, right? With strong stop under this. Because if it's under this, with the stop under this, it's probably going to be dead if it goes under this, right? Obviously not dead, but as saying our sort of process of thinking where to take trades is invalidated. So if our process of take is invalidated, we have to take trades somewhere else, right? I mean, obviously we were wrong about it, right? So yes, again, I'm doing the same thing on my longs because the area of the gap is so wide. So this structure right here, right, it's so wide, you can actually pinpoint the entry, right? If I really wanted to pinpoint the entry, I would pinpoint it around these 2 areas. Let me get my box. I would pinpoint it around here, right? But then again, the same thing can happen as it can happen with the short up there, right? The price can come down here, and you know, I'm going to expect a violent reaction when it comes down here. Like if it comes down here, right, I'm gonna expect something like this, you know, it's gonna be immediate reaction. So the thing is, if it comes down here, it bounces here, and you're gonna get like a reaction, I don't know, a $500 reaction or even more, right? You're gonna be feeling really sad about it if you just pinpoint it to one area, you got missed, and then you're gonna make absolutely no profits, right? So that's why I would just, do then. Hits your first buy, hits your second buy. If it bounces off, you still make some money, right? You still make some money. You're not empty-handed, and thus, your mindset is a lot more clearer in these situations, right? Because it's not about how much money you make. It's about consistency. If you consistently make dollars, couple of pennies, couple of euros, so forth, so forth, and you protect your investments, then you're gonna make money on the long run, and you're always going to be happy with your mindset, right? Because you're gonna be keeping yourself in a healthy mindset because of the pretty frequent winners. Uh, yeah, I mean some traders do trade like this. That they trade on really rare occasions, like they will hunt for best possible entries, or they will take these trades. They want the trades that will take them really far up. But those guys, you also have to remember, they will lose 10 times in a row, right? So if you are somebody who can lose 10 times in a row and not be sad about it, then go ahead, It's maybe a correct choice for you. But me personally, I do not like it. I like to have occasional winner, in between
So
those
we have a
streaks.
question from Jens, Alex.
Yeah, yeah.
So would you not hold for long in current situation?
In my current situation, that's a good question, yeah. In my current situations, I am out of every trade on Bitcoin. I mean, not out of every trade, like I still have my personal stash of Bitcoins, right? But in regards of short or longs, I am out of everything. And I am going to wait, in this case right now, for this area, for me to smash, like I said, a scalp. I'm not even gonna go for a main trade here, I'm gonna go for a scalp. And then based on his reaction, as I explain it, I'm going to take another path at it, right? So if it does something, if it does a super fast reaction and goes really up, I'm going to look for a first, that first pullback. I'm gonna look for a long around here, probably. We don't know what yet, how strong of the reaction is going to be, or how big of it, or how many inches it's going to be, right? Because it also depends on volume, right? Because when you see Bitcoin, it's kind of like this. If you go on lower time frames here, like 1 hour or something, it was sort of doing this sort of stairs, like you're doing these stairs, and with all
Yeah.
the stairs, you're testing the resistance which you had here, right? And every stairs you test the resistance, but you always fail to break it, and your volume is going lower, that's not a bullish sign for me. And even if we break out from this structure right here, I'm not gonna expect this to be hit. I'm probably gonna be more inclined for this area to be hit then, because this already shows me a weakness of Bitcoin, right? So it's all about observation sometimes as well, it's not always, not every structure is the same, not every situation is the same, right? And right now, I mean, if we were that bullish, right, if we were that, everybody was that super interested in Bitcoin, right, would we not break out of this already, right? I mean, we gotta think
Yes.
a bit
Yeah,
like
of
this.
course.
After we tested this resistance 3 times, would we not break out of it if people had so many interest in it, right? And we can obviously see that there are lack of buys right here, right? And as I went in previous stream, I even said this was pretty much rigged, or should I say, it was a little bit, how to say, fabricated by the certain whales, right? Because you had this beautiful level right here, right? And you pumped it, you rejected the same day. So basically, you retraced 100% of the pump in the same day, and then you pumped for exactly the same position, right? Like, these things does not happen in such time frames, If this lasted like 3 to 4 days, right, I would say, okay, now we can bounce for the same level. But this all to happen in one day and then bounce for the same level? No, man. That's almost, I have never, you usually never see stuff like that in regular markets. So I'm going to say that, stuff like this, it can be a little bit fabricated. And what has happened is, right, because there's so little interest, that right now you only need a couple of 10 bitcoins to really push the price, for like $5-10, and that's not that much considering that somebody has more than 10,000, or of them. And since you go on BitMEX and you had 100 leverage, one Bitcoin can pretty much turn you into 700,000, right? So if you push it a little bit past the liquidation zones, you can really get these big candles, right?
Yeah.
And even if you look at it from last night, what happened during the breakdown, right? Bitcoin seems to always do this right now. You have to pump, so you take out all the traders that had their stops right here, and then you break it down, And I'm going to tell you again, you usually don't see like stuff like this in forex. I mean, there are certain forex pairs like like Swiss franc and everything that does that, but everybody expects it there. But in Bitcoin, this is usually signs of no liquidity, right? Because Bitcoin usually follows the structure pretty well, right? Because what would happen usually, it would go like this, you know, it would go like this, you would test this area and then it would go down without this candle right here, right? This is the candle where the big whales kind of fill their shorts in, you know, and this shouldn't be allowed, but you know, it's happening because liquidation is at its, not at its finest, I'm going to say, right? um, which one point which could also prove that, I actually read the news, I think it was today actually, that Ethereum is at his lowest ever in Google searches, you know, so people have never Google searched for Ethereum less than they do right now, you know,
Yeah,
so which
the
can,
lack of the lack of interest
yeah,
and
exactly,
therefore the lack of liquidity also. Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, this is my basically my big one, right? This you got my shorts, right? Uh, of course, this is a huge level, so obviously the stop is going to remain above this structure, like I said, because I don't expect this to break this, right? This is your stop area going to be, yep, around here. This is your stop area. Now, obviously, after you get filled on this, right? Because you can only get filled on the first one, second one, you don't know. And since you have to stretch your sell or buy so far away, right? You mostly won't make a lot of money. But the thing is, you can follow up after it, right? If it does something like this, I'm going to follow after it on a rebuy, you know. So I'm just going to add on to my original short or anything, right? Because I'm going to knife catch some of the position, and then after some of that position, I'm going to go under a confirmation. So when I'm going to get that confirmation, I'm going to smash a long down here and a short, extra short up here, right? So you know, you get to mix both of both worlds. So you make money, you know, you make some money in case if it really reacts really fast, and you're gonna make some more if you add on your position right there, right? Because either way there goes, you know, and you have a strong reaction from it, right? It can basically show you the path, and it's going to give you some of the some more profits, right? But if you go on the weekly right now, on the really long big time frame, yes, I'm still bearish. I am still bearish because nothing screams bullish here. And I know I have seen thousands of content saying if we hold above this line at 700, yeah, if we hold above this line around here, that we are bullish, right? Let me make this. Wait, let me make this different color. Let me make this green color. So if we hold above this line, we are bullish, right? But then also same people forget to ask themselves, we did held above this line right here, right? I mean, if we pumped and now we came back here, why are we still bullish if we hold above this line, right? I mean, kind of makes no sense for me from the price action standpoint. So right now, I'm going to say that we also lost already this line, and we're probably going to make something like this, or we're just going to go straight down and then pump from here, right?
It will
And then
be
make
just
further
another
decision.
lower high, right?
Sorry?
It will be just another lower height if
Yeah,
we.
exactly. It's even like that. I'm expecting lower height. Like, I'm not expecting for it to do right this right now, right? I mean, this
Yeah,
would break the cycle. I mean, we all want to see breaking the cycle, but until chart shows me that it's bullish, I'm not gonna go for it, right? I'm just gonna assume that we are still bearish. So I'm gonna do this, right? I'm gonna short this, I'm gonna do, because at the end of the day, I shorted this, right? I shorted this, I shorted, wait, I shorted this, oh sorry, there was two shorts here. I shorted this, I shorted this, I didn't short this actually, I just sold the Bitcoin, I didn't short it, but I sold, you know, some of my positions, and now I'm gonna do it again right here, right? Because why not? If I was right the three times, I'm gonna try to go for the fourth time until it gives me the reason to switch my stances and go look for longs, right? So that's pretty much it, you know, that's how you have to look. Just stay with the trend. Trend is your friend. Trend is still telling you it's bearish. Just continue with your path. Short it with every given step it gives you, right? And until it proves you wrong, and it's only going, you need to understand that when it's going to prove you wrong, it's only going to wreck you once, you know. So you're gonna lose one trade, but you can still win this one, you know, because if you want this one and you want this one and you want this one, right, and then now you're gonna win this one, and possibly if it goes down here you can even win this one later on, right? That's like 5 wins, right? And then it's when it's going to finally do this, it's gonna wreck you, but then you're just gonna switch your stance, and then you're gonna win this one, you're gonna win this one, you're gonna win
yeah,
this one, and
okay.
it's you're just going to follow the trend. It's doesn't have to be complicated. Surely, because on weekly time frame, right? It's gonna take
Just to
you,
expect continuation
yeah,
there, right?
continuation, exactly. And you gotta understand that on weekly time frame, you're probably gonna have a trade a month, right? You probably won't get more than one trade a month, but sometimes that's enough, right? If you just wanna pull one trade and go away from PC or not focus entirely on the market, it's a lot of time it's fine, right? I mean, the people who are really wrecked right now are like low time frame traders, people who trade this, right? And I mean, I trade this as well. I mean, not at the moment in the crypto because I can't handle this, and I normally can't handle this. I can't handle this, right? Because this sort of stuff would definitely wreck my strategy, right? Even this at this it would wreck my strategy because if I this I would probably most likely be stopped, right? So there are some strategies how to adjust to this now. You wait for the candle down and then you wait for close. If it closes above this, then you take the trade and you hope the trend will change in your direction, right? There are some ways to adjust to this, but it's gonna be really hard and it's probably gonna make you frustrated. And pretty much I'm gonna tell you that anybody who's telling you right now that he's making a lot of money on small time frames, I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt, right? Because I know some really good traders that can't trade at all in the current market stance, right? Because for the trading, if you want to be a successful trader, you need liquidity, right? And without liquidity, most of the things don't work. The indicators don't work, the strategies don't work, and it's mostly just fabricated moves, right? Like this.
Yeah, right. Maybe you
Yeah.
can take a look at ETH now,
Uh,
or if someone want something special,
oh yeah,
that's
Ethereum.
menu.
So yeah, Ethereum. So Ethereum even looks like, when it got to the point of volume, right? It even looks more terrible than
Okay, okay,
Bitcoin
okay.
because like here we can't almost see the volume anymore. It means here we can see something, right? But here it's like wow, totally. So now I understand why in Google, the Ethereum is not being searched as much. Oh, you can see it on daily, right? And you can really see how it went down, like right after the ICOs died, and then after even but the new things that came out, where the exchanges did their thing. Wait, what was that thing name?
IEO, yeah.
Yeah, IOs, yeah. They gained a little bit of traction, right? But now they're going down again. And now I heard that Ethereum are going to introduce a pass and something else. Ethereum's 2.0. I think that is already out. I'm not sure.
And
Maybe that's
still,
gonna spike the interest a little bit. But Ethereum, as I said, and I'm gonna say it again, they have one big flaw, right? They don't have fixed amount of Ethereum, right? So every day there's more Ethereum. There is no maximum amount. So that's already a really bad thing. I mean, that's already a one thing you don't want to hear when you like sort of when you're sort of getting going for money, right? Because somebody is going to tell you there's infinite amounts of money, right? If there's something infinite amounts of it, there's not going to be that big of a demand of, right? So that puts it in a worse play than Bitcoin because Bitcoin maximum cap 21 millions, right? But here it's unlimited, so it's always going to be more Ethereum. And I know there's gonna be these areas when you're gonna be like, halvenings or what they call them, right? So they always mine slower and slower, but it's still unlimited, right? There's still people out there who mine a couple of Ethereum a day, right? And it's not really a good thing at the end of it. At the end of the day, uh, I mean, from this point of view, Ethereum looks actually even worse than Bitcoin, to be honest. So, I mean, this is actually our last line of defense, right? So, if we do, it's either gonna make you this and this. And again, is it gonna break the cycle? You don't know. But if I look at this thing like this, it's like trading any altcoin. And what can I tell you from any altcoin? That usually they retest the area down here. So like right now, you would want to see something like this, right? Or something like this. Now the question is it gonna break this? We will see. We can't predict that. But if it would at least go test this, then at least that's a nice trade, right? Because that's almost 100% right there, 150% and 100%. So definitely going to long these two levels. Definitely on Ethereum going to long these levels. And obviously the stop in this case, right, is under here. Since it would be a new low. I mean the new recent low. I'm not gonna say go back here. Under when it goes back, when it goes under here, which is basically before Ethereum got his adoption, right? Yes, you do have a trade here, but to me, I'm not gonna knife catch anymore. I'm just gonna wait for it to show a sign of bullishness and then start looking for longs anymore. Under that point, I'm not gonna start I'm not going to start. I mean, I'm not going to knife catch them anymore, right? But I will try to get a short if it ever reacts to here. I'm going to try to get a short in, but I'm not gonna knife catch the short. I'm gonna wait again for a confirmation, and hopefully the confirmation will be long enough for me to get into trade, so I don't get missed like I did on Bitcoin, right? Because we had one nice short on Bitcoin, right? If I remember correctly, and we got missed on it right before it went down for like so much. It was like even on 7-minute chart. Do you remember, Arnaud? It was like
Yeah,
here or
yeah.
something, right? Yeah, it was like here, around here, and then it got here, and then we missed, and it went down. So that would be a nice gainer. Or was it here, or was it here? I can't even remember because it was such a short time frame. Uh, yeah. So that's Ethereum. Yeah, let's check out Matic. So we got no questions today, guys. No questions are rolling in. Nothing for me to say. Or just want me to shit on Matic.
Nothing for now, Alex. Nothing for
Yep.
now.
Okay, so Matic, huh? You can already see where my first trade on Matic was. Oh, okay, it wouldn't be hit the second time. I would be glad to know that I did not hold this all the way up, right? I did not hold this all the way up, and I mean, the part of the thing why I did, I mean, in sort of the bull stuff. If we were in bull market, I would hold this right until it would be, like prove me wrong, right? But during the times like this, when the bounces on all the other altcoins, right, when all the other altcoins are looking so bad, I just have to sell and take my profits immediately, right? Because you never know when it's gonna pump like this. But we had questions about Matic regularly, eh? And we even talked about. Wait. We even had a question, right, when the top is due, right? And we said, wait, what was that time frame, Arnold? That we said that top is imminent?
1 hour.
1 hour? Are you sure this was 1 hour?
Maybe daily or 4.
4 hour? Let me see. No, it's definitely not 4 hour. I don't know. It was 1 hour that we said here around here. The top has been almost set, right? And then it still blow through, but then it fell down. But I'm not sure which time frame, yeah. But when you see something like this, I would just want to talk about it. When you see a large pump like this, right? You never lost a level, right? You never lost a level. It just kept going up, just kept going up, you know. And you can see the market maker has been here, right? And how you can see that? Because market maker will always make these distinguished stairs, you know. You see the stairs, and this is just the most common pattern of market maker, you know. They just make these stairs, and the reason why I said to that guy, I don't know who asked you, I think you gave me the question, or not, of some guy that asked in the 4C channel, is like, why do I think this was the top? Because, you know, it broke its pattern, you know, because you can see these stairs, and here it's starting to lose levels, right?
Yeah, the structure isn't the same anymore. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's starting to lose levels, and this was the first bearish move it did after this huge bump up, right?
Plus, we were so close to ATH right
Yeah.
there.
So obviously, I would tell him I tell him here to sell, you know, or to like take profits, obviously, right? And of course, I didn't hit the top, but you know how they say, you know, leave the top 10% to gamblers, right? And yeah, it's about 10%. Leave the top 10% and top 10% on bottom to gamblers, right? And you know, we were pretty accurate on this one, and I hope to took the profits, but you know, it's just pumps like this really goes to show you that people are still expecting too much from crypto, because after this pump, right, and this dump last night, I went to Reddit, and I've seen so many people talk about, oh, I lost my entire life savings in Matic, I lost my entire house in Matic, I lost everything,
Yeah, I
I'm
saw that.
financially ruined, right? But like, still, when people see this sort of pumps, they just can't stay out. And what's the problem? You know, they're not gonna enter here. They're not gonna enter here because they say, "Oh, I already missed the pump." Then this happens, and they're gonna say, "Oh man, I'm surely miss the pump." And then they're gonna enter here, and then a lot of them are still, okay, maybe this is gonna go to space, the moon, and some people are gonna say, "Oh, I missed the pump." And then the problem is when you get to here, the guys who enter here, who were the weakest ones, right, in this case, they start to FOMO you in because they say, oh, look, I entered last night or 1 week before or something, and look how higher we are than we were the night before, you know. And then even the strongest guys who say, I'm not gonna be fooled again by this, right, they start to enter around here, right. And then it just starts to cascade, and then these guys the next morning, they basically tell the other guys who are even stronger than them, oh, look how much I'm up already, and I still haven't lost a mate. But the problem is, none of these guys that enter at these three positions are not taking profits. None of these guys, right? And the thing is, the guy who sold this candle bought here.
Yeah, of
Now,
course.
and the thing is, all of these three sort of types of guys or girls or anyways, right, got wrecked on this move down. And the guy who bought here, you still got a thing. And even if he sent it all the way down here, like we say, okay, this is a 300%, 200, 280% move, and if we said his average was 140, right? He still made more than double his money. And you can bet your ass this was more than 10 millions of dollars, right? So he made a lot of money, right? And these guys right now, and then the number two mistake I see, how they consult, not consult, how they basically tell stories to each other. So what it's saying, they always tell one thing, right? All of these three guys, they tell one thing: if you don't sell, it's not a loss. I'm like, Jesus, man, that's the worst thing you can say to a guy right now. If you
Yeah,
don't sell, it's not a loss. So what are you gonna do right now? I mean, does this to you like look bullish? I mean, seriously, let's be honest right here, right? So again, we got volume that's going down, and even if it's on 1 hour, it's hard to tell still, right? I'm not gonna judge, but this doesn't look bullish to me at all. I mean, the coin retrace for one. Sorry, let's go from up there. If you started from there, the coin retraced in about a day for 260% and pumped 60%. So basically, you pumped to 1/5 of what you retraced, right? And this doesn't look bullish to me at all. So now the good chances are it's gonna do something like this. It's gonna do something like this. It's gonna test here, and this is where we're gonna probably take a long, and then it's gonna do something like this, and maybe go test this area again because of the severity of the problem it's pumped. Now I heard rumors that Binance is sort of a pulling funds from other projects for their market maker Matic to save it. I don't know. I usually don't believe those rumors because at the end of the day they mostly just wreck you. And I certainly don't listen to people who tell you after this, don't sell. It's only loss if you sell, right? No. I mean, if you bought here, I would get out here, even if it's a little bit under break even. I will still get out because I just want to sleep at night, right? And just take that 20% loss and go on with it. But your first mistake was, if you enter this high up, always like uh, the guys who, a lot of guys bought right here, right? So you gotta know, a lot of guys who bought down here, where would they take profits? They will take profits where I told you the first time they would take profit. They would take profits around here, right? And they will take profits around here again, and they will do it again. So if you bought so high up, you already have to take profits. Wait, let me just clear this chart because remove all. So if you bought right here, right, you already have to take profits here. You just have to do it. And even if it's only a small gain of, I mean, for me it's not, but for a lot of people it is, 25%, you have to take your profits. You gotta make your trade break even, because for the retrospect, you gotta look that someone is already 100% up, so he's very more inclined to sell than you are, right? So you have to take profits if you know he's gonna take profits here, because when people are taking profits, you should be taking profits with it, right? Not just stay out of the business and wait for it to go to the moon or whatever, right? And even like this. Wait, did it actually look? I mean, this is not even a coincidence right here. Look what it tested. It tested the same thing as Bitcoin. I mean, is it even a coincidence? It touched the right top of the candle and then retraced all the way down. And this is basically what your normal alt looks like, right? I mean, we can't even call this a coincidence because this happens all the time on the alts, right? And I'm gonna say, if I look at this chart right now and it's same for people who did not take all the profits up there, well, you really gotta have some balls of steel, right? Because this usually happens a lot of times, so from my experience trading alts. So yeah, keep yourself out of these positions. If you miss the pump, stay out of it completely, but if you really want to participate in a pump, then yes, if you enter here, take profits here, take profits here, take profits here, and then hold something for the rest, so this shit like this does not wreck you. But if you enter the trade down here, then by all means hold it until it gives you a reason not to hold it, and which was right up here, right? I mean, if I had my iron hands like I had during the bull, then I would sell it right up here. But yes,
yeah.
I would still take some profits here. I'm not crazy.
At the end of the day, Matic,
Yeah,
it's just another example of the lack of liquidity on the altcoin market, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would still take profits at this area, even if I had the most iron hands that I ever had. I would still take profits here because I would
Yeah.
expect my first rejection to at least be here, right? But once you move through, you just wanna wait, and then you wait for a reversal pattern like this.
Come on, guys. Do you have some question for us?
I mean, even Bitcoin, you
So
know,
some altcoin to short.
if you go on Bitcoin, right? I mean, wait, which? Oh Jesus, what kind of puke shit was on this chart? Okay. Even like here, Bitcoin, right? I mean, look, the pump. You see the pump. I'm not gonna say this was done by market make. Obviously, this was more organic because the whole world knew about the Bitcoin, right? But the first thing you had a sign on Bitcoin to sell was this, right? And I've said this many times before. This was the first thing when you started pumping so heavily. The first level that was lost was right here, right? So now after you do this, you have to start selling pullback. And a lot of people who are good in trading sold this, right? Or some more Ironmans sold this, right? And then everything sort of started cascading down. This was your first. The same. Of course, you could have hoped to catch the top, right? But whoa, sorry. You could have hoped to catch the top, but in this case, it's really hard, right? I mean, basing if you don't have the left side of the chart, but which in this case we don't have, right? Since it was the first time it had been so high, because here it was much easier. Here, you know, you can start expecting some trouble areas. Why? Because this was the first time you lost a level down here, right? So here you can expect. Plus, even if you go on monthly, this was a really strong level. Whoops, monthly. See, that was the really strong level. And even at that time, even me and Tyler said, if you're not taking profits here, you're absolutely crazy. And I guess we were right there, right? That was. Oh yeah. Sadly, no more chocolate milk today, huh?
Oh no.
Uh, yeah. Also, I was thinking, I gotta show you this trade. At this moment, we have so much trades open, right? I can, at this moment, we have so much trades open, right?
Yes,
On
yes. Some
yeah.
some
So I'm
some
not
much
going to
art.
post
So
this.
much
I'm
art.
not
Yeah.
sure. Wait. Why is my? It was a little bit low. I guess it didn't save. Let's change the trade. So anyway, what I was trying to say, this was the trade with the 7%, 8% stop. Yeah. So I'm not gonna post this trade, but it's a little bit bonus if you guys want to take it, right? It's gonna be a little bit bonus. I will mostly again, I'm going to close most of my trade up here, right? Or my last of my trade up there, because I'm not gonna go for the new high. As I explained before, the reactions are quite small usually on alts right now. There's no liquidity, so I usually take a lot of my trades off at the first profit target already and just enjoy my profits, right? And yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to just show you this for a little bit bonus. I'm not gonna post this because we have like 5 or 6 open trades at the moment, so I'm not going to risk our position even further. But this new algorithm that is working right now, it's gotta say so far, gotta knock on the wooden table, right? Luckily I got a wooden table here. It's doing quite well. We already had like 3 profit targets, 1 loss, but we had 3 profit targets, and even the loss occurred on the long on ET, if I'm not mistaken, right, Arnaud? It was a long on ETH, right? But we had a long and short on ETH, so basically right now, it's one of those trades that I was explaining already. I think I was explaining the strategy. When some, when you sometimes, you know, you take, when you have an undecisive level, right? You take a short at it and you take a long at it, right? And then whichever way it goes, right? If it now goes there, it stops you on your long, but then it continues down on short, and you still make money, right? It's just sort of a hedging strategy that some people use, and a lot of hedge funds these days. It just depends on where on the position of the chart it is right now. And for Ethereum, it's same thing as Bitcoin, right? Because right now you can go up and you can go down. So we basically had 2 positions open, and since now we're going down, we're probably big big possible events that we're going lower on Ethereum, right? Even on lower time frames, if I'm not mistaken, right? We still haven't lost this level, but it looks like we're going lower already because of the lower volume. Yep. Man, there were so many questions the last time, but now
No, no question today. Yeah.
I guess people were just talking last time because I was mentioning the banks, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, people left the banks. The French. Wait. Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
French National Bank, right? They got accepted to on Kraken. I think they got accepted to Kraken, and now they did the Swiss francs or I don't know, a couple of other currencies, euro or something was accepted there, and now you can deposit or withdraw your money.
Yeah. On
Uh,
Kraken. I mean, yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
Yeah. In the news. Yeah, France will be the first country to to actually have a digital currency, central bank digital currency. So that's a pretty good news fundamentally. But
But I
let's
guess
see.
Germans are gonna be the first one who will try to control
Yeah,
digital
yeah.
currencies, right? Through their banks. And I don't know, either one, at the end of the day, it's probably gonna fall down to being controlled, and they probably will control the Bitcoin. They probably will control the digital currencies, but it's bad for you, but it's also good for adoption. It just goes both ways, right? If you want adoption, you're gonna have to let the government mess with it, because
Regulate
government at the
it.
end
Yeah.
of the day is gonna push them upon others and other people, and it's gonna make it easier for people to buy in, right? Because you still gotta remember that a lot of rich folks who are above 50 or above 40 years old, they have no clue what the fuck Bitcoin is, right? So at the end of the day, you need those people in if you really wanna make something big, right? So how do you get these people in? You get banks offering Bitcoin. They ask you, sir, you're depositing 1,000 euros. Would it interest you if you bought 100 euros worth of Bitcoin? And then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, my son or my grandson has been talking about it, but I never got into it because I never know what this is. And then somebody's gonna take time off his day to explain in Bitcoin, and they're gonna purchase it for him, and he's going to think it's really cool and everything, and he's gonna feel young again, hashtag young,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because he's gonna be hip with the trend and he's investing in this new technology, blah blah blah, right? And that's all you basically need to get some money in, right? And that's how you get fresh money. That's how you get
Speaking of
fresh bull runs.
institutional adoption and so on, what do you think about Bact? We will launch first regulated BTC option.
I mean, I'm gonna say it's not a bad thing because Bact is a pretty big exchange, right? But like
But
it's gonna be.
we all remember the effect of the CMA launch, right?
The thing
So
is, the thing is, it's probably gonna be the same as was the first time. Okay, so first week it was basically no volume, right? Because you gotta give people time, to explore this stuff and get in, right? People expect too much way too soon, and this is a curse of crypto. You invest today and you're expecting 10% gains in the morning, right? That's not how it works, right? I mean,
oh,
once these institutions and important people start going in, they need time. They take time in their analysis. They take time, to learn how to trade. I mean, not learn how to trade, but every chart moves in another way, right? Uh, because this right now really hard to trade, but then if you bring up forex, it's not that hard to trade for now, right? But then forex comes during summer, and then forex is hard to trade during summer, but maybe Bitcoin is going to have more liquidity, so it's going to be easier to trade. Every chart has its own tendencies, right?
it's on cycle of liquidity and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not all about liquidity. It's also like like I said, Euro USD chart on forex it follows structure uh, more simultaneously. So it doesn't usually break out like this and then goes down. While Swiss franc versus USD, right? It likes to do this a lot, right? It likes to fake people out, right? So it's all different types of trading, and I mean the chart at the end of the day can look the same, but it's gonna be way more complicated to trade if you don't know what you're doing at it, or if you don't know the tendencies of that currency, what they usually do, right? Uh,
Yep. So do we have any question? Nope.
we
Still
have
no.
hashtag young. Yes, I love hashtag young. I guess we are still young, Arnaud.
Yeah, but it was not me that it was
Yeah,
you.
no, it was me, but I know who did it. But
Who is sneaking? Who is sneaking? It must be.
I mean, at least I'm happy that we are still young. We're still regarded
Yeah,
as young
yeah, yeah,
people.
of course. But I guess if we don't have any more question, I guess
Oh,
we should end.
Bitcoin is crashing, huh? Wait.
Yeah, maybe
Oh yeah.
XRP quickly.
Yeah, Bitcoin just crashing. I mean, it just went down for $60, but it's kind of showing the path. What's likely? Oh wait, XRP. I mean, I know we did XRP from the last time, and it still looks the same, right? I mean, wait. Okay, let me see. Wait, did it touch this? Nope. Man, I have this level since forever and still haven't moved since it like wicked down here. Or it should have moved when it wicked down here, went back up, but it's still left it here. That was a good short. Let me see. So we said that we actually gained something, and that we did. We actually did something here. Wait. No, this right now? Yeah, right this. Right. Oh wait, I had this live because this was. Wait, was this our long? Why do I have this line here? So basically, oh yeah, I think this was from previous stream because we saw that this gained here, so we put up a line right here that our long would be right here, and then we actually called the long on, or algorithm called the long, yeah. And now it's actually playing out quite nicely, right? And now I guess we can expect this. We can at least expect this now. Pump something like that, and then we will see what's gonna do from there. Hopefully something like this, right? And then uh, XRP can start moving out. Yeah, this line, if I remember correctly, this was from the previous stream, yeah. So at least this played out. I mean, so far nothing serious, like 2%, but I'm expecting at least 5 to 6%. That would be lovely. We'll see how that one goes off, right? But nothing new yet on this one. You know, they got in the large time frames. It still didn't give us any sort of confirmation that it's going to go other way. I mean, you know, other way as it mean up here. You know, I still don't know if it's gonna go
Yeah,
up
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Start to show something, but still too early to take
Yeah, but
conclusion.
on lower time frames we can see like something like this, right? On lower time frames it's possible to see something like this. Regarding the action, I might even pull a short up here, you know, I might even go in for a short here. We'll see what happens there, you know. Let's see how the song reaction will be. Can we look at Tezos? Oh, sorry, that was your part. Let's just gonna check Tezos.
Yes.
Oh boy, Tezos. Wait. Let me check the price because I had a lot of this coin. Oh yeah, I had a lot of Tezos. And it's actually at $1.50. I actually bought it at $1. Sorry, it's 50 cents, but I didn't even remember when. Wait, do we have any other charts that are far behind?
It does look like a stair, right?
Wait, let me see. XTZ, USD, Kraken. Let me see this. Oh yeah. Oh, I think it was like 50 cents something. Is it down here? I can't even remember how long ago this was. Oh yeah, that was earlier this year. But I sold a lot here on this point. You know, I sold a lot here and I don't even think I got anything anymore. But right now, let's see. BTC related. Bitcoin. Wow, that's a quite a run up. And then see, again, same thing as Matic right now, you know. People are
Yes,
gonna
stair.
start entering right here, right? People are gonna start entering. And if you are the one who enter right here, DM right, please take profits real fast. You don't wanna see. I would much rather wait for it to go do something like this. No, it depends, right? It can already start doing this like this because it's already a resistance. But right now the volume is still great, so I'm not gonna say anything else. Does this look like a market maker? I mean, it sort of looks like steps, right? I mean, I guess I'm gonna tell you this is a market maker as well, right? So now the only guess is when the market maker is gonna turn off, right? So right now, if you really wanna get in, you have to long the most bullish level, right? Because why? Because if it does something like this, it's probably not gonna go much higher anymore, right? You don't want to see this. You actually want to see this, right? As you can see here, pretty much the same thing happened, but here your long would have get missed, right? Because it didn't even react that much. So if you really wanted to go in, you would have to go in from this green line and then hopefully for a new high. But what I like to do with these charts, and of course it wouldn't work in Matic, but okay, I would like to do with these charts is wait for it to go up, right? And then if market maker is still not, you know, still sort of letting go, but it's, I mean, you can see the market maker is selling, but they're still not gonna like just leave it to dump completely, right? You just then take pullbacks and you take it from this level, you make a small long, go down, you make a small long, you go down, right? And you just play these ones apart. I am already in and partial out for my day. Okay, that's good, yeah. But I'm just telling you, if you want to really go in, you have to go in this part and then hope that this is going to happen. If market maker starts letting out right this, if market maker starts painting something like this, right, you gotta get out because that's most of the thing. What this means, it's distribution, and what that means that market maker is selling their remainders of coins, right? Because they're only selling on the way up while they create FOMO, right? But this is how the chart looks like when they're selling a remainder of their coins, right? When I see something like this on a chart like this, I'm getting the hell out of here, right? And it will probably end up the same as Matic. It probably won't end up as fast down as Matic because that is a rare occasion because somebody with a really large chunk of money dropped. But it's gonna be something like this, and then it's gonna go down, and then it's down, and then it's down, and you know. So that's where I like to play my longs on a charts like this, you know. I like to just play them in between a couple of percent of profits, and that's it, right?
So Demi says is already in and partially out of the trade, which is a very good thing.
Yeah. It's the same as here, you know. Like, look at this. I went to link because I wanted to show you, like, you know. So what I was saying, right? I'm not gonna delete this chart yet because I got a trade going in. You have this sort of stairs, right? Look at how you pump it, right? Now what
Same pattern.
the thing is, yeah. So see, the thing is what I was saying, right? You will want to enter here because you would not get hit if the market maker zone, and we can see clearly the market maker zone here, you know. So your trade position was for more aggressive levels, so either here or here, right? And you get a couple of nice fills before it goes high, right? And then again here, you take a trade here and you get another one, but of course that was during the breakdown. So what I'm trying to say, when you see a market maker here, you have to go for aggressive entries, right? Because it's painting these stairs, right? And then it painted the last stair, and look when it on the way down, look, it come to your level, it bounced for a couple of percent, went lower. It came to your level, bounced for a couple of percent, it went lower, right? It came to your level and bounced heavily. And this is it, right? I usually miss moves like this. I miss moves like this, but I make money off of this. And this is like, you know, and this is like, damn, that's like 15% right here. Then you had a small bounce right here for like 20%, and then you had another bounce here for 30%. You know, this is the moves you want to capture. And of course, obviously, you won't hold it for this long, but you would hold it for at least till it hits this area, right? So that's 36%, right? And this is the sort of moves you want to capture. And now, when you see him doing this, right? What I was saying to you on Tezos, what do you think this is, right? This is a distribution. This is a distribution after a pump. Somebody is selling a large chunk of their coins, you know, and they're letting the price go a little bit up, and then they're letting it go down and pump it a little bit until they're gonna be out of coins, and then you're gonna just see something like this, and you're gonna get a little reaction, which I'm expecting right here, and it's gonna go lower and get a little reaction. So okay, that one was a little bit too far, maybe. You know, you get the memo, right? And this is how it usually goes with these coins, right? I mean, usually goes with these alts, I should say, right? That's okay, and just use link as an sort of a example because you can exactly see what's going on here, you know. Reaction, I mean, distribution was a little bit fast up here, but that's why probably why it bumped so far up again and tested this resistance again, and now it's doing this because somebody is selling a large chunk of these coins. Otherwise, it would just go up, right? But somebody's selling, and maybe it's market maker even selling, and your classic volume is going down, right? So yeah, and even this pump, look how this pump was weak compared to these ones, right? I mean, look at it. It didn't even break the top of these candles, right? So,
Yeah.
and now we will see what's gonna happen tomorrow. If it's gonna be lower or it's gonna be higher. Because it's gonna be higher, then it can be a little bit more bullish. But if it's lower than this, right? Well, you're probably not gonna last up with this pump, and I'm probably correct with the distribution phase, right? And then we'll see what's gonna happen, right? And mark my words, it's gonna be Tezos is gonna look pretty similar to this chart. Pretty similar to this chart. You know.
So yeah, I think there is no question left. This is already 62 minutes
Oh,
of stream.
62 minutes. Oh my god. Okay.
So I guess we will end that soon.
Yep.
Last question, guys, maybe.
Well, 62 minutes. Huh? That's not a bad time. I mean, we had a little bit delay, but I guess we kind of
Yeah.
added some extra
A
time
couple
to
of
that,
minutes
right?
of struggling with the sound or the screen or both. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess this is it then, guys. See you next week. And next week, wait, we will try to do it on Monday, right? Or
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, so okay. Okay. Next week, Tuesday, and next week we're truly gonna try to be on the right time. I swear. I mean, I think everything works now. I'm not gonna touch anything for the next week, and then just gonna tune back in and just hope everything is gonna work. Like nothing is gonna give me issues, right? Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Then join us the
Yes.
next week, right?
Yes. See you Tuesday.
Yeah. See you guys.